why people don't, if people say, oh, I had never really thought about it that way, or they'd say, no, surely this is what the self is. The self is our individuality, or it's our genes, or some sort of inherited traits or something like that. I think one is because those are straightforwardly, those are the messages that we get through the newspapers. There's a lot of stuff about, genetic structure, as though, well, people behave in some very predetermined biological genetic kind of way. Also, I think people often answer these things very individualistically, because we live in a relatively individualistic society, which tells us actually where it's all about you, the individual, and it's all about me and I. And so there's an ideological and a kind of an everyday sense to that. That I was just walking on the way here today. I was just walking through a shopping mall, and it's all about you and making you as an individual feel special. Actually, the evidence is that there's a case I use is of there was recently a BBC journalist who went to live on his own in the wilderness for 5 years, and actually what he found was actually, apart from becoming chronically depressed, he lost any sense of identity because he wasn't connected to other people. So it's one of that's. I mean, the point there is that the everyday understandings that we have about things are just often wrong. Okay. Now, the job of social science is to sort of demonstrate why they're wrong and try to get them right. And I would say, why is our work not more influential? Because in a certain sense, we haven't bridged all those gaps. We haven't done all the research. We haven't necessarily been as effective at convincing our colleagues and getting that message out to society, which is precisely why I think it's so important to engage in events and activities like this. Because again, I think that knowledge is there in the social science community, or at least a part of it, but actually it's not one that people routinely are given access to. And there are good reasons for that. People who run shops don't want you to think that actually shopping is bad for you in the long term, and having a materialistic identity is only going to make you more depressed, but the evidence is it probably will. You should stop shopping and go and spend more time with your family.